Hey everybody, welcome to WASD20. My name is Nate and today we are taking a look at this pretty cool role-playing game tool set called InKarnate, and it is a map maker that you can use in your browser. It's in open beta right now, which means it's totally free, so you can try it out, and I would recommend doing so. I first heard about this from Nelson over at the channel Infinite Roleplay, and I'll put a link to his video that piqued my interest down below, and you can check that out. He has quite a few of those in his series and will probably be a little more detailed than what I'm getting into. But I wanted to give my subscribers a brief look because I know a lot of you have been enjoying my map making series that I've been doing on the channel. So here is the website, and you can go and sign up for the beta. And here they have a brief look at some maps that they made with Incarnate, and it is pretty good. They even have a Southern Westeros they created here, which is a pretty brilliant marketing move. And once you sign up and you get in, it'll set you loose with a blank canvas. This is one that I've been working on for, well, I probably put about 45 minutes to an hour into this one, just kind of messing with it. It was my first time, so yeah, I think it's a pretty good tool, and especially if you don't have a very good knowledge of Photoshop or GIMP or other digital tools. If you're not very techie, this is a good one that can help you get some of the basics. You don't have to be a very good artist. You don't have to be very techie. So I'm going to start a new one now. Create a new one. And there's a blank canvas. The first one here is Sculpt with the shovel. And that's our first tool. You can add or subtract. And so we're going to be adding land. And if you start drawing, you can see there's some land. Now right now there's only one option for water, but my understanding is there are going to be many different styles and options in the final version, which I assume will not be free. But I don't know what their business model is going to be for making money off this. I think it's a good thing, and they deserve to make some money off it. So I don't think them charging for it is necessarily a bad thing. It's a pretty cool tool. All right, now you can see right away that this is not very good for shaping a continent, right? I've got big bubbles. So that's where we get into size. And size you can adjust right here and make it a smaller circle. So, making it a little more jagged, but still that's not quite enough. And it actually doesn't get all that small. So, you'll still be a little rounded. If you're trying to make jagged coastlines, it's okay, but yeah, so what I usually do, what I did on my last one, is kind of shape what I want to see on my map, some of the basics, and I'll go around and make this a little more jagged here, and you can tweak it, and now you get a little bigger and fill in a little more, and it's a bit of a tedious process at this time, so it could definitely be better. It would be nice if I could just draw a shape with a very fine point and then fill it. That'd be nice. Yeah, there are other options too. Kind of like a vector tool would be cool, where I can just click and set points. That might be kind of handy. So maybe that stuff will come in the final version. I assume there will be some upgrades to this process, because right now, again, it's kind of hard to get a great looking coastline in a reasonable amount of time. So like even this is just taking a long time for me to stay within the lines. And another thing they don't have is a zoom tool right now. I'm in Chrome, so I'll just control and then scroll in, scroll up, rather, excuse me, to fill this in more. Okay, now I think I can probably use a bigger. I'm going to skip through some of this stuff, and I'll see in a minute once I've kind of finalized a coastline. Okay, I'm back and I've got my coastline set. It's not perfect. I'm trying to make a fairly quick one here and respect your time as well. All right, the next thing is the brush tool, and this is where you kind of can set different terrain styles and basically color your land a little more. So, you've got all sorts of stuff here. I usually do mostly grassland, so I think that's what I'm going to start with here, and just let me make it a bigger brush. Once again, you can adjust your brush. You can also adjust the softness here to kind of blend it, which I will show you in a second. But you can see if I let go here, the edge does soften. It gets kind of blended up there. And then we'll do some desert. What do I want to do here? One thing I saw on some of them, I think Nelson might have done this, or some others, is use the desert on the edge to kind of show that there's maybe some beach. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. So I'll do that a sec. Kind of trace the border here. And it's not going to go in the water at all. I don't have to worry about that. This brush tool only goes on the land. Maybe in the final version they will have, you know, different depths of water you can kind of do with the brush. I don't know. Darker water, lighter water. We'll see. I think, you know, it's pretty limited right now, but I've even seen some YouTube videos of them showing off features that are not in this beta. So I know there's a lot more coming. See, that looks a little too uniform, so maybe I'll just have the beach on one side of the continent here. Yeah, I'll just kind of, yeah, there's some beach. I don't know. There we go, and then we'll make over here a little more desert, perhaps. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then we'll make some darker forest over here. And around there. Maybe a little bit there. And then what else do we have here? Golden field. We'll make some golden field here. Make the brush a little smaller. Alright. And we'll make some golden fields here too. Oh, whoops, I got rid of my beach there. Desert it. There we go. Alright, good enough. I'm going to stop tweaking with it, and you know, I can do roads and stuff, but I think I'm going to call that good for now. Ice, tundra. So yeah, there's some good options there. Next we're going to do some objects, and oh no, I like to do actually this terrain types. So here we've got 3 options, and I know in one of the other versions I saw them showing off they had a lot more options, but here in this free beta we get very limited options, and that's okay. Oh, come on, why isn't it let me? There we go. Alright, so we're going to do some mountains here. You can see it's just varying the size, and I think in the other version I saw you could actually place individual mountains a little more easily, or kind of stamps of a few mountains, or a little grouping of mountains. This one I just kind of drag it and it puts mountains in. So sure, we'll call it good there. Maybe have out here. And what I like to do on my maps is then have a little islands there. So let's go back to this. I'm getting too into it here. Why can't I just let it go? Smaller brush. Zoom in down here. And need a smaller brush yet. Go down to 2 now. 3. Alright, so then we got some islands there. And, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to put a mountain on those islands. Yeah, I often like to make the mountains kind of going into the water. And some of them become islands, naturally. Because there are mountain ranges under the water. Anyway. Trees. Let's add some of those now. And by the way, if you don't like a mountain, what you can do is hit that select tool, click on a mountain, and delete it. So I say, maybe this one's too big. Or you can select a group. Yeah, I'll select. I'm not going to delete any, because I like it the way it is. I did it right the first time. I will delete that one. Oh, So now, okay, yeah, backspace, not delete. I hit backspace. All right. Let's see what else we can place. So we got deciduous trees or coniferous trees, and so I'll do some trees here. I'm gonna zoom in. These are a little bit variable size as well. It seems like there's pretty much 2 sizes. And so I could just kind of drag it all around. I might as well make it really thick. And you know, you want to try to make it a little jagged too to make it look natural, but yeah. There we go. Make some up here. Thin them out in there. Maybe a little thin there. So you can see the trees option there. And then for deciduous trees, you can place them individually as well. But when you do it thick, man, you really just lay them on there. And with this one, it does not space them apart at all. So that's kind of the more, you know, bushy, almost like a cloud look, which is a style that I've done on maps before. And sure, we'll kind of thin it out over here. I don't like the way that looks, but anyway, we'll move on. Show off some of the other things. So objects now, you can place some objects. So we could have, you know, you can make, I don't see it here, but you can, there's something for, I thought there was. Oh yeah, you got towns, then you got cities. So, you know, you can do big cities like this. We'll make one right there, one right there. Or, I kind of like this. This looks cool to me. Where is it? City 2. I like that. That's pretty cool. It's a little bigger. And if your map is bigger, my map's pretty small here just because I'm trying to keep it simple. So we'll make a city right here on the coast there, kind of a bay, natural spot for a city. Maybe we'll make a, nah, I don't like that. We'll make a city here on this coast as well. And then, you know, you can do, I don't know, maybe this is the orc encampment here by the forest. And oh yeah, these are cool. I love these. This just makes it look so cool. A ship in the ocean. And of course, what map would be complete without a compass rose? There we go. Looking pretty good. And yeah. So lots of objects here, fun things you can mess with. Some of them would be for probably a more like zoomed in version of a map. Look at that squid. Let's just throw a squid over here. Why not? Let's get all the sea things. Let's get a sea serpent fighting the squid, and you can, you know, rotate these by clicking the edge. So if you don't want that to be north, you could always say, well, no, this is, well, darn it, now I've done it. Delete. So we want to select. There we go. If you hit select, then you can rotate that and say, no, actually that's north, or whatever. All right, and the same is true of these. You can rotate them. Cave there. Awesome. All right, and we can label things. You know, you can say this is the right here, the blue sea, of course. Well, let's get a little more creative. We'll call it the Trident Sea. There we go. And you can, again, rotate that. You can resize it. How do you resize it? Oh, yeah, font up here. You can choose bold. You can change a couple different font sizes. I kind of like that one right there. And, yeah, you can do the same thing, you know, zooming in here with cities. So we would want to make this pretty small, probably. Say probably, yep, and we'll call this gray wall. It's like Greyhawk, only it's Greywall. Now that font is pretty much illegible, so let's make it a little bigger here. There we go. So this is the city of Greywall. And, you know, with a lot of this, you can reposition it. If you want to make rivers, you can do that here. Oh, let me just show off this. So this is a way to take notes. This is for your reference. You can say, Greywall is a city founded by fishermen from the distant north. Right, and take your notes there, close it, and then it puts a little pin right there. Whoop. Let's get rid of that one. One thing that's a really big fault that I found is there's no undo. That's a huge thing that I can't imagine they're going to leave that out of the final version. You got to have an undo option. Delete that. Okay. So you can see we put a little marker there. And if we click away from notes, it's not there anymore. So when you click notes, then you can see them. But if you want to print out the map or show your players the map, they don't need to have those little note options. So that's pretty cool. Then what else? You know what we didn't do is rivers and lakes. So let's do that. We're going to use the subtract tool for our rivers and lakes and go down to size 2. I thought, the other day they let me go to size 2, but oh well. We're going to make a river here. And it's coming out of the mountains. And you know, you could delete the forest there. That's probably what I would do if I was taking more time. But I'm not. And maybe you have coming from here too. So it's pretty thick for a map this size to have rivers like that, but it works. And if I was making a bigger map, it would look a little more natural. See, that's what I want to do undo. I don't want the river to split there. Rivers rarely do that drastically. So, but instead, what I have to do is I have to add, which works fine. But it could be a lot easier. All right, so that's how you do rivers. We can do a lake here. Base of the mountains there. Get a little bigger brush. Like this long, narrow lake. There we go. So, yeah, this is Incarnate, folks. You can mess with the settings a little bit, but there's not a whole lot. Oh, it's not even letting me. Where are my settings? Give me my settings! Okay, that was working yesterday, so that's weird. Oh, save's not working either. Wow. What's going on here? Oh, okay, now it's saving. Yeah, sometimes it gets a little weird. Makes these cool vector shapes. Prisms. And it takes a while to save. Alright, there, it's done saving. And you can export it. And it just saves it automatically as a JPEG down there. Let's try settings. So you could title it. You could put in a description of this map. Yeah, I think I've pretty much showed off everything there is here. And yeah, this is Incarnate. So let me know what you think. But you know, I think this is great for people who want to make a map but do not have much artistic ability, maybe, or just don't have the time. Even if you have the artistic ability, you think I could do a pretty good job, but I don't want to take the time. This is a quick way to make a map for your tabletop role-playing game campaign, or just for kicks, maybe for your book, for whatever, right? So yeah, check it out, Incarnate. I'll put the link in the description down below. And remember, if you're not a subscriber, I'd love to have you subscribe. Also, you can find me on Facebook. Just search for WASD20 on Facebook, or you can find me on WASD20.net. All right, that's it for this one, everybody. I'll see you next time.